In this video, I wanted to talk about why I love replaying video games. If you don't know, I play most of my video games over and over and over. The reason being is because I just don't like seeing my stuff sit there and collect dust. If it's sitting there collecting dust, most likely I'm going to sell it. So for the most part, I try to replay everything I own. Does that mean I'm going to play it all the time over and over and over? But frequently I will try to revisit a game and I will try to replay it, whether it being a platformer, whether it being an indie game, a big AAA game, an open world game, an RPG. I tend to replay most of my games 99% of the time. So most of the games that I own, I've already replayed at least more than once, and I actually do enjoy that. Also, one reason you may want to replay a video game over and over, or maybe at least a second time, is because for the first time, if you're playing a big game, you may not experience the whole story or see everything the game has to offer on your first run, and you may not be even paying attention. It's nice to go back and revisit a game that you played and said, I don't remember that, or yeah, or that's something new I never ever knew that was actually in the game. So it is nice to play it once in a while, replay a game once in a while and see new things that you've never ever experienced. Or maybe if it's an RPG, for instance, you've never played any of the side quests or played some of the side quests and you want to go back and revisit some of the side quests. One game in particular I have played over about 9 times is the Borderlands series, especially Borderlands 2. I just find that game very, very fun. And that game is actually has an incentive for you to go back and replay the game, just because when you play on your second and third attempt, you actually level up, you keep your equipment, and all the enemies get stronger. And another thing with the Borderlands series, for instance, is the fact that that game is a multiplayer co-op game. So maybe you want to play that once by yourself, and then you want to go back and replay it with 2 or 3, 4 friends, and you can have a blast with it. And replaying it with friends replaying it co-op is different than playing it by yourself. Just because the enemies are going to be more stronger when you play co-op, and also the loot you gather is going to be much more better, or much more stronger once you play with different people or co-op on that game. So there's a lot of incentives to play these games over and over. Honestly, I can say it's actually kind of a hindrance on me to keep replaying a lot of my games, just due to the fact there is so many video games out there on the market that in a lifetime you could probably never play all of them. And of course you won't like all of them, but there's so many out there that I would like to play in my lifetime. I just have a lot of I just like replaying a lot of my video games, and that can actually be a hindrance on me. Even though I am a person that likes replaying my games over and over and over and over, there are 2 series that are near and dear to my heart, but for some reason I just can't replay them. I only played them once a piece and I put them down altogether. I do love them that much, but I just can't play them. What series is it? Well, one of them is Fire Emblem. For some reason, especially Awakening. I played Awakening one time, and then I know there's different difficulties, and there's a lot of replayability there with the DLC, and even just playing the main game. You can get caught up training different characters, using different characters. But for some reason, in Fire Emblem Awakening, or Fire Emblem games in general, I just can't see myself replaying them. I wish I could replay it, but when I try to replay it, I'm like, the story is too much, the cutscenes are too much, I don't want to read this text, or something about it just doesn't give me the same vibe. I know you guys probably have a certain game that you love near and dear to your heart. You absolutely love it to death, but you just can't see yourself replaying it for one reason or another. And that game is a struggle to replay for me, and it's a shame though, because that franchise has a lot of potential, and revisiting the franchise would be nice for every game, just because there's so much I probably don't understand, so much I missed, and things like that. Revisiting it would be the best option for me. Another game I can think of that I absolutely cannot replay, and I love that series to death, is the Kingdom Hearts series. I actually got the remake of the first one on PS3, and I tried to play that, and I just could not play that. I got to Alice in Wonderland, one of the very first world you visit, and after I beat that world, Actually, no, I did not beat that world. I take that back. I got to the boss in that world, and then after I got to that boss, I just put it down. I'm like, I cannot do this again. There's just something about the way the game works or something, or too many cutscenes or something. I just cannot replay that game. And that is a shame because Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite franchises of all time. It is near and dear to my heart. It actually has a very good story. It's just a very perfect game in my eyes. It's not perfect, of course, but in my eyes, it's a very good game. And I just cannot get myself to replay that game. But for the most part, I do love replaying my games over and over and over and over and over. Anyway, guys, peace out. I'll see you guys later in my next video. I'm out, guys.